Hello, welcome to my channel. So today, I'm ready to do this, and we've been waiting a long time for this little baby to be delivered. We've been waiting, and we're finally here with the Jaclyn Hill palette. So I've been so excited to get this in my hands, try it out. Long story short, I did venture into Burbank, which is very far for me here in Orange County, and I don't even know. I mean, this would be like a 10-minute convo, but it was bananas. Okay, Jaclyn, you did the thing, girl. Like, I much respect to you because you have so many fans and following me included. Like, I was just amazed. And props to Morphe. I mean, I was in a 2.5-hour line, like kind of scared that I wasn't going to get a palette. But they had vans just unhauling palettes. Like, they were ready for this. And I just think that that was so amazing because no one left disappointed. Everybody got a palette. They were ready. They were prepared. Like, I was just like, I was really impressed with Morphe. So that's what I'm going to say about that. But being that I did take the time to drive out there and wait in a 2.5-hour line in the blistering heat, I thought that I owed myself the Morphe brush set. My husband, he was kind of questioning, like, wait, what did you buy? But it's an awesome brush set. If you're a makeup junkie like myself, I'm, always loving to get makeup brushes and try different things out. It's an amazing value. You get 25 brushes. I want to say it was like $140 or something like that, and you could use her affiliate code or any other Morphe affiliate code and you get an extra 10% off. It's ridiculous. That's such a good deal. I mean, if you go to MAC, you'll spend like $40-50 on one brush. So I'm going to go through a tutorial. This is an organic first impression. I put this look together on the fly, and I'm using her brushes for the very first time. I have watched her tutorial on how she uses the brushes, so I did try to mimic that to try to see if I'm getting the same results and if I'm liking the way she's using them. So hopefully that'll kind of give you just, I guess, some insight on, someone else other than the master Jaclyn Hill on how she's doing her makeup. So you can peep that out. And yeah, so let's get to it and let's just start it. Okay, so my eyes have been prepped with MAC Paint Pot in Painterly. And then I also set it with some loose translucent. I always do that when I'm going to do my eyeshadow. And I'm going to be trying to kind of replicate how Jaclyn does use these brushes. So put them to the test and see if I like it how she uses them. So first I'm going to be going in with the Morphe E47. And what she likes to do is she stamps out kind of like a barrier to keep it clean, your eyeshadow. So you still kind of get that little winged look without using winged liner. Okay. So that should help a little bit. I've done this method before and I always just get messy with it, but I do like this brush. This is the first time I've tried that brush and I'm liking it. So now I'm going to go in with the Morphe R37 and I'm going to be doing my crease and some transition shades. So I'm just going to be going in with Silk Cream and MFEO, and I'm just going to start warming up the crease area. I always also like to drag my shadow down into the corner. That's just kind of my style. I like to keep it more kind of smoked out in the corners instead of doing like a full lid cut crease kind of vibe. It's just my kind of style, but you could obviously do whatever tickles your pickle. Okay, then next, excuse my dog if you hear Ruby Sue click-clacking on the wood floors. Excuse me. Excuse you, Rubes. So next I'm going to go in with my M518 and I'm going to be hitting some butter. So it's a smaller transition brush. So this will kind of help get a little under what I just did. So it'll give more of that kind of gradient effect. I'm going to be going in with my M433 and I'm going to be using Buns. And now I'm just going to be taking that just a little bit lower and a little bit more focused on the the outer corner of my eye. And then whatever excess I have, I'll start to blend it into the rest of my crease area. And I'm actually going to use my E47 again, just to keep it clean, folks. And this is RCMA powder, in case you were wondering. I'm gonna bring buns like halfway to my lid area. This is gonna help just give it more of that like smoky bronze look. I'm using my M513 just to help blend. Like, I got a little crazy right here. I don't know what happened. Okay, now we're back in action. Let me see. Okay, so now I'm going to be using my E17, and I'm going to be going in with Mocha. And then all this, I'm going to be just focusing more on just this little outer V area. And then I'm going to use the 513 again to just blend that out, what I was bringing out in the corner. I'm just trying to blend. And then now I'm going to go in with my pop of shimmer. I'm going to be using Meeks. And for Meeks, I'm going to be using 2 different brushes. The kit or the set did not come with like a flat shadow brush. So I'm going to be using a couple different brushes for this. I'm going to be using a MAC 213 brush. And then I'm also going to be using my Morphe 506. So I'm just going to go in with Meeks right now. And I'm going to start packing it in on the inner corner. And I'm going to be using the 506 brush. I'm just using it Meeks again, but I like it just to get a little sharp right in here. I think Jaclyn mentioned this is like great for a cut crease, which I could totally see why. But I'm just kind of doing like a little halfy right here, just so it's like clean in the inner part of my eye. And then I'm going to go back in with my 513. And I'm going to be packing in some more Mocha. Just to like, so it kind of still blends together. So I'm going to go minimal on liner. I just have not been really into liner lately. I feel like it, I don't know, it's just been more fresh looking on me, and it makes my eyes look more open and bigger. So what I've been doing is I've been just doing a brush like this with like a darker shadow, and I just am like stamping a liner, and not even all the way across my eye, just like halfway. And that also kind of gives you that like kind of cat eye illusion a little bit. So now I'm going to highlight my brow bone and my inner tear duct. I'm going to be using my new Kylighter in Fiji, and I'm using the M213, and I'm just going to be hitting it right up here. And then I am going to be using the 213, I'm sorry, the E18. Now I'm going to be doing the E18, and I'm going to be hitting the inner tear duct. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with some mascara and some lashes, and then I will be back with the face, and then we'll finish the lower lash line. All right, so face is, lashes are on, like I said previously, but I'm using, in case you're wondering, my Koko Goddess lashes today. And it wouldn't be a Jaclyn Hill dedicated tutorial without using my good old Diorskin in forever. I did do a whole video dedicated to this because Jaclyn Hill did make me buy it. So if you haven't seen it, make sure to go peep it out, see what I think about this product. I'll put a link down in below for that one. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try out, she suggested and she included 2 of these different foundation brushes in her kit. So this is the M439 OG Classic. If you're familiar with Morphe, you hear about this brush all the time. It's an amazing buffer brush. I actually have never tried it, but I am a fan of round buffer brushes, so I'm thinking I'm going to like it. But she also started using this, and it's included in her kit. It's the E8, so it's similar, but super, super small, so you could get into those smaller areas. So I'm going to try one on each side, see what I think. I do already have my eyebrows done, so I think this is really going to come in handy to get around my brows so I don't mess up my brows. But yeah, so let's try first. I'll go in with the M439, and I'm going to just like dab in. Did I say that my face is moisturized and primed? I can't remember if I told you guys, but it is. So I'm going to just go back in on the areas that I want a little bit more coverage. So far, I mean, I love it. It's not streaky. I saw someone saying it was streaky, and I'm like, where? I'm not seeing any streaks. I like it. I think it's good. Oh, I am having some shedding. Brush sheds. So, one ding on it. But I mean, as far as like the coverage it puts out, it's cool. It puts out a lot of coverage, which is nice. Okay, so now I'm going to go in on this side with my E8. Yeah, I don't think I have the patience to do my whole face with this, but I do like the idea of using this for like around my nose area, around my eyebrows. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. Like use it. That's what I'm gonna use it for. So I'm just gonna try to do this quickly. So now I'm gonna go on with the E8 and carve all this stuff out. And you could get in your nostrils, because sometimes the bigger brushes don't get all up in that shiz, you know. Okay, yeah. So I do agree with the fact that this does work, but I personally, my own style of doing my makeup, I think I won't be doing my whole face with this, but I definitely will be using it. So that's for sure. And I love this. It does have some like shedding, but I mean, it was a super affordable brush, and the finished product is nice, so I'm not super distraught about it. I'm gonna drag this down my neck a little bit. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to go into my foundation, or no, I'm sorry, my concealer. So I'm going to be using my Tarte Shape Tape, of course. And then I always use my damp beauty blender for my under eye, so I can't stray from that. So I'm just going to buff this in. Okay, so concealer's on, foundation's on. I really like the M439. I thought it was really good at getting the job done. I didn't experience any streaking. It gave me good coverage. So I'm happy with it. I would say the only drawback is I did have some shedding with it, but I mean, it is an affordable brush. So I mean, as long as the outcome is what you want, I think that's the main thing. If you're spending like $60 on a brush, then yeah, I would be like a little upset. But obviously I didn't, so I'm fine with that. And then this brush was awesome. I love it. I won't be doing my whole face with it just because I don't have the patience for it. Some people do, but I do love it for carving out like around your eyes. If you've already done your eyes and your eyebrows and you want to get around the nose areas and stuff, I could definitely see the usefulness of this. So approved. And so I'm not going to do like cream contour or cream highlight. I'm just going to stick to the basics, and for the sake of going through all the brushes and testing them out. So right now I am going to use a Morphe M438, and I'm going to be using my DERMABLEND Loose Translucent, and I just wanted to do like a little bit of setting right here under the eyes. I'm not going to be baking. And then I'll use this brush to just set a little bit of my forehead. And then I like to carve out my cheeks a little bit before I go in. Actually, you know, I'm going to wait on that. I'm going to wait to carve out my cheeks. Right now, I'm going to just set my whole face with the good old Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk, which is one of a Jaclyn favorite. And I do have a video on that with the Dior Forever. But I'm going to be using this brush, which I'm so excited about. It's the E41. It's a huge powder brush. It's from the Elite collection. So you always know you're going to be getting something pretty fancy with the Elite collection. It's soft, luxurious. So I'm excited to try it. So I'm going to be using my Giorgio Armani, do a couple blurps on my face, set that shiz. Oh, I love that. Love it. That's fast. Okay, so I'm going to carve out my cheeks before I begin my bronzers. It's kind of like the same purpose like I did with the eyeshadows. Kind of just helps create a little barrier. Alright, so I'm going to be using this infamous Morphe R2. This is supposed to be a duplicate for the Tom Ford bronzer brush, which is $1 bazillion. And this is one of Jaclyn's favorites as well. So I'm curious to see how this goes. So I'm going to be using some Hoola. And I'm just going to start bronzing. This is really nice. I am loving it. I'm very loyal to my MAC 135, but I am really liking this. It's like the perfect bronzer brush. But it reminds me a lot of the MAC 135, to be honest. And I'm going to be trying out that same brush that I used to stamp out my eyeshadow, the E47 with the Hoola again, and I'm just gonna contour my nose. It's okay. I think I like my Ita brush for my nose better, my NARS Ita brush, but this I like it a lot for this stamping out my eyeshadow. Okay, so I'm going to try her go-to contour brush. It's the R10. So this is her go-to contour, or lately for the moment. So I'm going to try this out, see what I think about this. I'm going to be using my Becca Multitasking Perfecting Powder in Warm Honey, just to do a little bit of chisel. Oh yeah, oh I like it. That is good. I really like that. So I'm going to dust this off. Okay, so next is blush. I'm gonna go in with the, let's see, this one is the M530. It's kind of a multi-purpose brush. You could do a lot with this brush, but this one called to me for blush, so I'm gonna be using this one with my MAC Melba. I love it. Right, and then we're gonna hit some highlight. This is another highlighting brush, the M510. So I'm gonna be giving this a whirl. I also do have another Morphe brush that I love for highlighting, but this was in the kit, so let's try it. So I'm using the Kylighter again. Brush is good. Gotta hit the nose. Gotta hit a little boop, 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 boop. And then a little bit of the, I actually might use my finger for that. Okay. I lost a little bit of my inner corner highlight in my tear duct. So I am going to go back in just to give it another little stamp. So I think we're done. We're done with face. So let's zoom in and we'll hit those lower lash lashes? Lower lash line? Yeah, we'll hit the lower lash line. Okay, so now for the lower lash line, I gotta do a waterline. It's my latest addiction. I just can't complete an eye look without my waterline. So I'm gonna be using my Inglot Gel Liner in black. I think it's number 77. That's like how they name it. And I'm using a small angled brush by Sigma E65. That's just my brush that I use. I really don't want to use any other brush because if you're familiar with Inglot Gel Liner, this just is intense and I'm not trying to contaminate any other brush. So now I'm going to be going in with the E17, and I'm a sucker for an orangey burnt brown under my eye. I don't know why. I used to rock, I think it's brown script from MAC for like ever, and this reminds me of it. So I'm going into Roxanne, and I'm going to be hitting that lower lash line. Roxanne, I love it already because I already did my other eye, and it's super pigmented. It's amazing. So you don't have to go in heavy-handed, I'll tell you that much. So now I'm going to be going in with my fun color that's been calling to me this whole time I saw the palette, is Pool Party. So I'm going to be going in with the E. How many times have I said going in? I'm going to be using the E36. It's a smaller pencil brush, because I want it to have that gradient effect, so I don't want it to be as thick as using Roxanne. So I'm just going to start building up the color in my lash line, or lower lash. And to give just a little bit extra dimension, I'm going to be going back in with my M432. And I'm going to be hitting Central Park again. And I'm going to be stamping a little bit of liner just on the outer corner of my lower lash. Okay, so let me put some mascara on my lower lashes and I'll be back. So I'm lining my lips with Makeup Forever Aqua Lip Liner in 5C. And I'm going in with my latest and greatest, Kylie Velvet from the Vacation Edition in Naked. Okay, so this is the final look. It was a lot of fun. It was kind of fun just doing this on the spot. I had a vision of what I wanted to create, or one of my first looks that I wanted to create with this palette. So I'm super happy with it, and it was a lot of fun to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, maybe got some ideas, or if you're interested in the palette and you haven't gotten it, you kind of see how I used it and how I'm kind of learning with it too on how I'm going to be using it. But so far, all I could say is the palette, I love the palette. I might be a little biased because I love Jaclyn, but genuinely, honestly, I do love the palette. I can't speak for every shade because I haven't used every shade, but I mean, you saw what I used and the look that I got out of it, and I'm really happy with it. And for the amount of shades that I got, for the price, for like $38, and it's my dream palette. I mean, all us girls love a warm smoky eye. So if you're into warm smokies and shimmers, and she even throws in a touch of like hints of color that you could add, I mean, that's me. She's speaking to me. She's my spirit animal. So I loved it. As far as the brush set as well, I love the brush set. I mean, I am a makeup junkie. I love makeup brushes. So for me, yeah, it is a little pricey, but makeup brushes are pricey and you pay for what you get. And if you're wanting to get a certain look out of whatever it is, like, you're not going to get the look with two brushes. I'm sorry. That's just my personal opinion. So if you want to step up your brush game, if you want to step up your makeup game, then follow Jaclyn Hill. She's awesome at teaching you how to use different brushes and, you know, how to create different looks. So I think that's a great starter guide if you want to start to try to do more creative looks. But I think it's worth the money. I could tell you, though, I'll be honest, what I did not use out of the collection for this one single look, I did not use her M437, which is another contour brush. So, I mean, I'll probably try it, but I mean, that other contour brush that she had that I used, amazing. So, but I didn't use that one. And this brush I did not use, the M504, but that's because I didn't do, this is like a more larger shading brush. So she recommends this for like an all over flush of color for like a bronzer, which I love to do. But this wasn't that kind of look, so I didn't need to use it. And then there was two other blending brushes, the M441 and 573. So I didn't use those, but that's, I mean, you're going to need other blending brushes sometimes, or like if you need another one, like you could just grab one of these. So it's like you have two extra. Okay, cool. So, I mean, for me, I think it's worth it. If you're a minimalist, then I would not recommend getting the brush set. Like, I mean, obviously you don't need these many brushes, but if you're a makeup junkie like myself and you're always trying to, like, you know, find little fun things to do, then yes, I do recommend it. And for the value, the brushes are great. And for what they're used for, great. So yeah, that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, like, get ready with me / first impression experience, and I'll see you guys on the next one.